That's it. Final Fantasy 3. Final Fantasy 3, it's in the bag. Let me open up this real quick, everybody. Let's go. Final Fantasy 3 Pixel Remaster review. Let's go, people. Let's go. So I'm going to go through my review, story and characters, music and audio, graphics and visuals, level design and gameplay. You'll notice to the very right, there's a yellow multiplier by each one. That indicates how important that part of the game is to me. Story and characters is the least important to me. That has a 2x multiplier. And all the way down to the bottom, gameplay is the most important thing to me, and that has a 6x multiplier. Let's go through and score this and see what we get. Now, there's already scores in there. That's what I gave to Final Fantasy 2. So Final Fantasy 2 got a 63%. Is this going to be better or is it going to be worse than Final Fantasy 2? For the first one here, story and characters, I consider the narrative and characters, including voice acting. No voice acting here, but it's okay. We don't have to consider that. Are they convincing, memorable? Do they enhance the experience? I'm gonna go out and say it. Memorable? No. The last one, Minwoo and Joseph, those types of characters I did enjoy. This one, I think that douche character, Desh, I think was his actual name. For some reason, he stood out. I don't know why, probably just because his name was kind of funny. Sid is here again. I guess that's kind of an interesting character. As far as story, this is, I think, the biggest map so far, right? Because you have the main continent and then you have the overworld continent. So they did improve upon the traversing around and having characters in different areas kind of present the story outward and then kind of all come back together at the end. That was kind of nice. That was neat. I guess I like that. But I mean, as far as the storytelling goes, the original number one, I gave a 2. Number 2, I gave a 2.5. And number 3, I think I'm going to stick with it, you guys. I think I'm going to stick with the story being a 2.5. I don't think it was better than number 2. It was definitely better than number 1. So for story and characters, I'm going to stick with a 2.5. I'm not going to make a change there. It's on par, basically. It's different characters from different areas in the map telling you different parts of the story, and then they all kind of come together at the end. That's kind of basically what happens. Okay, music and audio. I gave a 5 on number 2, and I also gave a 5 on number 1. A lot of memorable tunes from number 1, iconic tunes, deserves a 5, absolutely. In number 2, they kept a lot of those iconic tunes, and the songs they did add were super catchy. The battle music in number 2 I thought was great. I always look forward to getting into a battle just so I can hear the opening theme to the battle music. I'm gonna say for number 3, this is the first point where I feel like the music, it's not bad, but it didn't improve, and it's almost like a half step backwards. I don't feel like the music really has a lot of the punch from the previous 2. I feel like it did back off a little bit. I still think it's good, but I wouldn't feel okay giving it another 5 like I gave the first 2. They didn't really improve the music, and the music they did change isn't necessarily great music. It's good music, but it's not great. I'm gonna go a 4.5 on this. Let's go to graphics and visuals, you guys. Art style, visually appealing and fits the genre, the tone, animation smooth and natural, environmental details, and I think that's supposed to say are immersive. Oh, detailed and immersive. I got you. Okay. This one, I gave a 3.5 to number 1. I gave a 3.5 to number 2, and number 3, I'm gonna give it a 3.5, you guys. This to me is like, it's the same. It's the same game over and over again, which isn't bad. Okay, it's fine. But I mean, this whole thing being put together like this was a big deal. And I think I sound greedy when I say this, but it would be nice if the graphic style was on par with like Octopath Traveler or something like that. Like really, really next level graphics. Like that's kind of what I think would be like the gold standard of games like this. I know these are old, and I know they basically just kind of touched them up and they look fine. That's why 3.5 is fine, but they could have pushed the envelope on the graphics for these to really make them next level, and they didn't. They're fine graphics. They look good. I enjoy playing it, but it's not like, holy crap, have you played the Pixel Remasters? It's just kind of, they're just like basic games to me. That's how I feel about these. Let's go down to level design. Is navigation intuitive and encouraging of exploration? Do challenges progress naturally and align with core mechanics? Number 2, I gave a 2.5, and that was a drop from number 1. Number 1, I gave level design a 3.5, and number 2 dropped a whole point because of those dead ends, which were not okay. So I dropped it a full point for that. This game, I think, is definitely an improvement over number 2. And to be honest, I think it's even an improvement over number 1. I like the hidden passages, those little hidden corridors that you can find. That definitely encourages exploration. A lot more chests in hidden areas, a lot more things to find. There's even a few boss battles, optional boss battles that you can fight. I like that too. So the original I gave a 3.5. The number 2 I gave a 2.5. I'm gonna bump this up to a 4. I'm almost contemplating 4.5, but that might be too high for level design. I think 4 is good though. I think 4 is good for that one. I say Final Fantasy 3 level designs were okay since it was all straightforward. Just go all the way down or all the way to reach your, yeah, exactly. A lot of that, but there were a lot of hidden passages though. So there were some areas where, you know, it was worth exploring sometimes because you can find those little holes in the wall. So, okay, that brings us down to the most important one, gameplay. Consider core mechanics, controls, HUD, progression, etc. Are they intuitive and engaging? Do they offer enough depth? So the number 2, I gave a 2.75. Number 1, I gave a 4. Number 1 was a 4. I thought it had really good gameplay. I really liked it. The biggest gripe in number 1 was the magic system. I did not like magic points or however they had it, where you had a certain number of spell slots. I like having magic, a meter, right? Where you use a certain amount of magic. It would be nice. In number 3, they went back to that, by the way. They went back to how they did it in number 1, where they had spell slots, but there's a lot more spell slots. That was nice. And I also like that they returned the items that you can actually use instead of magic. So I like that. I like having items that you can use instead of magic. That way, every single turn you can actually use that item. So I did like that. I did like the job class system. I like that each character had something that offered that other characters didn't. I like that aspect of it. I didn't like that when you changed to that job class, you lost all your magic and you started over with your level. You had to level up each one. If they gave you like 6 or 7 classes, maybe even like 10 classes, if they gave you a bunch of classes, but all up front in the very beginning of the game, and then you level them up as you play, so you get to the end of the game and you have the ones that you like leveled up adequately, that would be a plus. I would enjoy that. And I would enjoy being able to swap whenever I want to job classes for whatever I want to do. That would be great. The problem in this game, I feel, is they introduced some of the job classes so late. I got a new job class, I think, either entering or having just entered the final dungeon. That's like this much time left in the game to level up your, it's not worth it. I ended up reverting back to my previous build because it would have been a nightmare trying to level up my other character. So it was not worth it for me. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun. So I liked the job system. I wish that they had given you more characters up front that you can kind of play with as you explored the game. That would have been a lot better. And having to use certain jobs to do certain activities didn't come up very often. It came up in the very beginning. Remember when you had to make yourself mini and then you make yourself big again? Like that was kind of a big part of the gameplay, and then like turning into a frog. But that all happened fairly early in the game and they never really came back to it. So there wasn't really much opportunities to really exploit certain jobs over other jobs. So that was a little, that kind of fell flat. Definitely cool idea, but they didn't really land with it. So I am going to go, the first one got a 4. Number 2 got a 2.75. Number 3, is it better or worse than, it's better than 2. It's going to get higher than 2.75, but is it better than 1? Would I rather play 1? I think I would. I would rather play the gameplay of number 1, even though this is more innovative. It's a little too flawed. It's too flawed to really be enjoyable. So I think number 1 is better, even though it's not as innovative. So I'm gonna go 3.75. I'm very comfortable with that, you guys, as a score. Very, very comfortable with a solid C for Final Fantasy 3. So there you have it. Most of the job classes later in the game are just level ups of existing jobs. So pigs, if you can actually take your level up. So if, like for instance, you have a black mage or whatever, and then the magus is the upgrade of that, you should be able to carry over this to that one particular character, or just level up that job class. and no longer be able to be the mage, just be the magus. Like that would make more sense to me. I would like that better. All right, everybody. That was my review. 75%. Let's go back real quick. So just for remembering, Final Fantasy 1 also got a 75%. I'll be damned. Final Fantasy 2 dropped down to 63, so a D. Okay, and then Final Fantasy 3, yeah, it's an on par game to number 1. I mean, it's, I think, a better sequel. It's if we went from 1 to 3, that would have been a fine sequel. Number 2 is just an oddball. It had a lot of weird things in there. This is much better. I would still rather play number 1 though, even though they got the same score. They both have a 75. I would still prefer to play number 1 all over again. Thank you guys for coming along on this journey. I'm enjoying getting to know the Final Fantasy games. I'm also enjoying your guys' input on it. I know this game means so much to you guys. I'm hearing some stories from you guys playing these games when you're a kid, right? Or watching your older brother play the game, you know, and sitting on the floor at home playing these games. And just, I know there's so much nostalgia wrapped up in these. And for you to share that with me means a lot to me. Your stories helps me, you know, realize how special these games are, and being able to experience it with you guys also means a lot to me. So thank you is what I'm saying.